This is the VertX Ghost Sling, and I liked it a lot. And it's on special for Black Friday, up to 30% off. Matter of fact, it is 30% off if you're watching this in the future. Check the links in the description because you still might get some good prices on it. There's just one thing that I will caution you if you decide to buy it to think about before you pull the trigger. First, let's get some of the positives out the way. I'm a big fan of how this thing works, how it just kind of sits wherever you want it to. Obviously, you can wear it in the front, you can wear it in the back, you can kind of wear it however you see fit. It comes in 3 different colors. This is a 10-liter sling, which is about good enough to fit about a 10.9-inch tablet, 11-inch tablet, something like that in there. So it does have a good CCW compartment. It is actually plenty of storage, built-in MOLLE. We're gonna go over all the specs. I am not a big wearer of slings over wearing it on my right shoulder. I guess you go over your left shoulder. That's kind of where this forces you to go in order to have access to the CCW compartment. And I think that's like the only thing I don't like about it after testing this thing for a couple of weeks now. So the sling itself is super comfortable, but as I mentioned, I'm not used to wearing slings on this right shoulder. But if you want to be able to swing this around and actually access the CCW compartment, which is right here, you gotta wear it one specific direction. I'm not a big fan of that because you are accessing the CCW from the very bottom right here. So I guess if it was a different direction, maybe it would be better, but I've gotten used to it. So if you like the features of this thing and you're okay with getting used to it, then I think this might be something that you can easily adapt to. Now that's the one negative. We're gonna glaze this up for the rest of the video. All right, the sling itself. I've talked about the one negative about the sling. They don't particularly do these type of sales all of the time. And I think that you can kind of look past it when you see the price points for these right now. So right now, they're having a 30% off sale. We're going to get to the bottom line up front, but I want to talk about the pricing, okay? So they're having a 30% off sale for Black Friday, 30% off their entire website, unless the item's already discounted or something like that. There's very few exclusions. So if you use the 30% off coupon that's down below, that's going to bring this thing from $125 MSRP to $87.50. Let's call it 88 bucks. That's a lot different pill to swallow when you're talking about $88 for this sling with its capabilities, how well built it is, the very small, subtle things that I'm a big fan of. I think that we can look past a few things. Let's get some of the boring, the BLUF out the way. Okay. At MSRP $125. I think that unless you really want the CCW, the off-body CCW, which could be important to you, you know, there may be scenarios when you are going to, I'm going to tell you when I go from on-body to off-body quite often. If I take my kids to the park, they want me to go on the swings, the slides, the merry-go-rounds, all that type of stuff. I prefer to take the weapon off of my body. Printing makes other parents feel weird. I don't want it to fall off out of my waist. Sometimes I'm wearing joggers. It's just a lot easier to go from on body to off body into a bag like this and keep the bag on my body. Then I'm good to go. If I'm going into a scenario where it may be difficult to on body carry, but I can off body carry, a conference where you're allowed to bring boomsticks inside with you. If you're going to a campus where you can bring a gun with you or something like that, where maybe you have your shirt tucked in, it's more difficult to get to your weapon. You don't want to hip carry. Off-body CCW makes sense. So at full price, if you like the features of this bag, at $125, there are a few comparables, but the things that make this interesting, there's very few bags on the market other than Eberly stock, VertX, and maybe a few 511s that easily couple with armor. That's what makes this thing so interesting. So my long bottom line up front, if you know you need the features of this full price, it's worth it. If you're kind of on the fence about you're like, I don't know about it, I don't really need all that type of stuff, and you catch it below $100, it's worth it. Right now it's $88. That's a kind of a buy. Now that's my bottom line up front. Let's just talk about some specs just to kind of get it out the way. This is a 10-liter bag. It comes in 3 different colors. I have it in mountain, which is just kind of basically gray. It also comes in a color that's called shot court, which looks more like khaki or desert tan, a little bit less than desert tan. And then it will also come in black. Now this is its big brother. This is the Urban Ghost Pack. This is a 20-liter bag, which I did a review on. You can check that out as well. And this is also 30% off, where it becomes interesting when you see the great pricing of this. And so if you want to get it, if it were full disclosure, VertX sent me this pack. They sent me that pack. They didn't pay me any money. They didn't even know I was doing this video. Okay, so just kind of get that out the way. If you use the links in the description, they're affiliate, they're commission based. So if you purchase stuff, you don't pay any extra money, but I get a cut. So I appreciate that. It does help the channel out. It does have a lot of features. We're gonna go over those. And another thing that you may want to look at on the 30% off sale is a lot of people are big fans of the Ready Pack, the Gamut, the base camp, all the other bags. They're also 30% off. So that makes stuff like this even more interesting. The Urban Ghost bag. It has a very front pocket. I'm going to show you how I have it loaded out, how I've been testing it. It's been about a week. Comes in 3 different colors. Let's just make sure I'm not missing any big specific features. Lockable YKK zippers, just like its big brother. Compatible with Premier Body armor, which we're going to talk about here because I do have it inside. It's also compatible with third-party inserts for your boomsticks. You can use your own inserts. They have their tactigami system that you can use. Padded back panel with Urban Ghost pattern. We'll talk about that. All right, so we got this bad boy. First off, look at the back pattern. That's what they're talking about when they say the Urban Ghost logo. It's similar. All of them have that same nice little logo on the back. The back also has a luggage pass-through, which also can double as a defender mechanism. So if you have this out in front of your body and you're using your boomstick at the same time, you can keep this in front of the biggest, most important part of your body, which is where people aim for, which is center mass. So if you have armor in here, you can use the luggage pass-through because it's so freaking fat. Like this luggage pass-through is massive because they want you to be able to take your arm and put it through and to use this at the same time with your boomstick. Okay, so the actual CCW compartment is at the very bottom of this bag. And about this one specifically, it does have lockable zippers, just like its bigger brother. So here, if you have a TSA lock, you can keep the TSA lock in the bag and actually lock the zippers. It does have the large grab handle for quick access to the CCW compartment. The CCW compartment is half looped. So if you have something with a hook back, you can put a holster in here, or you can keep other stuff in here. You don't have to use it for that. You can also keep, so basically any type of holster, whether it's third party or if you got a tactigami holster, you can access that at this very back area back here. So this bag can do it's really good with like revolvers. It's gonna be decent with like subcompacts. It can do a full-size weapon, but it's way more comfortable with subcompacts, revolvers. You can go like a Magnum or something like that, a 38 Special. That's going to be a 380 9mm subcompacts. You can get a Glock in here as well, but I'm not going to be walking around with a 1911, and this thing is just entirely not big enough for that. Of course, you can reverse which way you want the actual strap to go. The thing about that is if you reverse it to the other shoulder, unless you're left-handed or you can draw with your left hand, you're not going to be able to access the CCW compartment. My dominant hand is right, so I want to wear it on my right shoulder so I can swing it around and get to that like I talked about earlier. The very front of the bag has a pocket which you can just stash stuff away. I tend to leave this open on purpose. And what I use it for is if as I'm at the park, as mentioned, if I want to dump my pockets. So in my pockets right now is a wallet, a knife, a flashlight. Maybe I'm about to get real silly with my kids. I'll put the weapon in the inside. I'll put all the items inside this front pocket, and it is expandable. But once I throw my well, I usually won't take my knife out. But if I take my flashlight out and my wallet out, I'll just stick it in this front pocket. The very top of this has a pocket which is lined, which is specifically kind of designed for sunglasses. I do keep a Woobin E7 light in here, which is a good selfie light, and it's also really good for lighting my kids up to take pictures of them. You can keep your sunglasses in there if that's what you want to. One thing I wanted to identify here is any of these 3 zipper areas, you can transfer this rapid access pull tab to any of these 3. So if you don't like where the rapid access pull tab is, you can move it to this tab, open it quickly. You can move it to this tab and open it quickly. And then the very front, it does have, instead of those, it has different pulls where these kind of like the shrink wrap pulls where you can feel the difference. One thing I like about the bag, because you can absentmindedly open it. So we'll open this up and kind of show you what I have in here for now. This does do a basically kind of peel down clamshell opening. We'll start off by showing you what is up here, which is a semi see-through pocket. And that's good so you can quickly take a look and see if you're missing any of the items that you wanted to bring with you that day. So small med kit, which is more of a DIY kit. So a splinter remover, some Advil, ibuprofen, all that good stuff. Still have my Sarge Disc Plus, which I use if I want to transfer camera footage from one camera to another, or if I want to film directly with my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, then I can record to this and save the memory of my phone. And then here is the key lash where you can store your keys, and this is pretty accessible. If you swing the pack around, you can still unlock your front door with that. So accessible pocket here. It's a see-through mess. You can kind of see if you're missing. I can quickly see if I'm missing an item or whatever. Then it has the same storage as its big brother, the Urban Ghost Pack. But the thing about this one is it's the same storage, but it is condensed. It's tighter. It's a 10-liter bag. But I have this thing built out the same way. And I just wanted to show you this as an example of what you can do if you decided to purchase this as well. So we do have my pen in here. This is a tactile turn pen. One of their limited edition pens that they had a few years ago. They're also having a 15% off sale, which is super rare. I think I might talk about that in a separate video because I love their pens. A Sharpie, which may be needed every now and again, especially if I am out and about. If I'm trying to mark small projects, mark pieces of wood, which won't ever be seen again because they're going behind a piece of drywall or whatever. I like to just keep that at the ready. I do have 2 of these now. I need to get the actual guided field sharpener because all I have is the pocket sharpeners by Work Sharp. And I mainly want it for the rod because the rod is completely usable in my opinion. I don't want this grit. I think the grit on this is too aggressive. I think the grit on there is like 400. A lot of people keep telling me you can replace the grit on the diamond side of these, but I don't know. Either I'm not shopping correctly or I don't know how to find it because I went on their website and I'm not specifically seeing it. So I have this bag also set up to smoke cigars. I've taken this to the cigar shop, very enjoyable. So when I'm at the cigar shop, you can also keep there your own drinks. There's other buddies there will give you drinks. And people, you know, I have a fancy bottle cap lifter. So if somebody gives me a beer or something like that, I can use this as a bottle cap lifter. This also opens up cans of beer. So this is a, and so they don't sell this anymore, but I thought it was a unique talking piece that I don't get to carry very often. Some lip balm, and then I have the Nikkor, the MT2A Pro. This is a great 2 AA flashlight. The only complaint I have about this is it doesn't have a momentary switch, but I like to keep in my pocket something completely different in my bag, vice versa. So this is different than the flashlight that's normally in my pocket, which right now is an ace beam, and they normally have different functions. Either the one in here will have a higher beam, a higher LED, or have a longer battery life. I don't want to carry redundancies that are exactly the same. right underneath that, this is a speaker I like to transfer from bag to bag, no matter what's going on. This is a Tron Smart. I forget which model this is. It just recently came out. This thing is fantastic. USB Type-C recharging. Once, if I want to actually pull this out and play it, I can hook this to the strap of the bag. That's what I like about it so much, because if I want to play this while walking, I can hook this here and keep walking with the bag on my body. So this is a pretty dope little speaker. Next to that is the Leatherman Surge, which I have been enjoying thoroughly lately. Behind the speaker itself, some zip ties, because zip ties come in handy, you never know. And I don't even like to transfer zip ties from bag to bag. I prefer to just keep them in whatever bag I'm using. But I normally keep 2 to 4 zip ties. Something happens to my kid's jacket where no longer will the zipper broke and I want to keep the jacket closed, I will use a zip tie. If something happens to something on the vehicle and I need to quickly tie something down, zip ties. Just, you never know when you need a zip tie to hold something temporarily. And then of course you have a knife in your pocket or your multi-tool and you can cut that with some scissors and remove the zip tie. So perfect. Leatherman Surge, fantastic multi-tool, crappy pocket clip. I do have an upgraded clip that I need to install on this. Right here, some more medical stuff. Which I probably could put in a top pocket, but I wanted to keep that pocket as clutter-free as possible. This is just more like adhesive bandages, some Neosporin, a Strike Bright, stuff that I may need, but maybe not as quickly as Advil or ibuprofen. And then underneath the actual work sharpener is a Leatherman bit kit. In the bit kit, there's this gets you an additional 19 bits plus the one that's loaded in the Leatherman Surge. So altogether, I have 20 bits that I could use whenever I need to. So on the way, I do have the Leatherman ratchet, which came back in stock, and I ordered one. So I'll probably put that right here or whatever bag I use next. So I have that nice empty spot, or I can just leave it open. You don't have to pack it out if you don't want to. Then if we look here, you can open up this main pack here. All right, so let's just talk about this side over here. So this is the inside of where the sunglass holder is. So that's why I say if you put the sunglasses in here, you're sacrificing some of the space on the inside. If you put something smaller in the sunglass holder, then you can use that space. So I think I would prefer to not put sunglasses in there and use the space. So there's actual pocket right here. And in that pocket, I have it empty. But if you wanted to, you can put a battery bank, or you can put a charger or whatever back there that you see fit. Here, this is a piece of their tactigami system, and here I just have a little bit of stuff for my cigars, smoking materials, a cutter, a lighter, a divot tool with a punch. And so it sticks and moves around wherever you want to. You can also stick something on here as well. So I like their Tactigear system. It's very, very nice. Then it's just kind of empty room down here if you want to put a light jacket or whatever. Then moving on to this side, another piece of their Tactigami system, which holds my battery bank. And people asked in the last video, why don't I just put the battery bank in the pocket? The reason I keep it in the Tactigami system is that when this thing is hanging from its hero clip, like on the back, because normally when I hop in my truck, I immediately take this and I hang it from the rear seat. Right, so you know we all have headrests in our truck, so it's hanging from the headrest behind me. While it's hanging on the headrest, and one of my daughters or kids, like it always happens, I can still keep one hand on the wheel, absent-mindedly put my hand in the bag, and hand somebody a battery bank. So that's why I keep the battery bank in the Tactigami system instead of keeping it in the pocket. Because if it was in the pocket, I would have one more thing to unzip, and I just don't want to have to do all that. So it's just a battery bank and a cord. I think I have 3 of these now. These Nicore battery banks. They're super slim. They work well. Now this is a TSA lock. This is an Eberly stock. Their Molly system that they recently came out with their series. I keep the TSA lock here, so if I need to take the weapon off, put it in here, and as I mentioned earlier, you can lock this with a TSA lock. So I have that there so I can lock this bag if need be. And then back here in the very back, it is an 11-inch iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil, just to kind of show you what can fit in here. So about a maximum 8-inch width for a tablet. You're not going to be able to fit like a 13-inch laptop in there. It's not going to happen. Still room down here with the full loop panel. I'm a big fan of how they did that. And then one thing I wanted to show you guys is Premier Body Armor is also having a sale on for Black Friday as well. And one thing I think is important if you get these type of bags is eventually make the purchase to get the armor. Maybe not when you first get it, because the armor it is expensive, but it's worth it because these are designed to give you one more opportunity to save your life. So behind this is the Premier Body Armors. Specifically, this is the level 3A backpack insert for this bag. So level 3A is going to be able to stop like a 40. I think it can do a 44. Let me not misquote. So a level 3A looking here can do up to a 12 gauge shotgun, 44 Magnum, 357 Magnum, and a 9mm. So it stops right before you get to a Kalashnikov rifle or a 7.62 by 39 type of rifle. It's not going to be able to stop that. So this is the padding for that. This is the foam insert that comes with the bag. So you can take this out technically once you buy the body armor, but they both fit in here. I'm not going to stuff this back in there right now because it's a headache to get it in there. But this is the Urban Ghost Sling. Urban Ghost series by VertX is designed to be unseen, not very intimidating. You kind of disappear. You just kind of just looks like a regular sling bag that you can purchase from a lot of different places. But I think it has a lot of features. If you don't need outside water bottle pockets like its big brother, if you like the size of it, I think this is a go, especially below $100. Comment down below. What do you think about this thing? Smash or pass? S for smash or P for pass when it comes to the Urban Ghost Sling by VertX, and also the Premier Body Armor insert system as well. You can even get something dope like their koozie. They have a can koozie, which you can get, which fits around a 12-ounce can, or you can even put it around a 16-ounce can if you're okay with it coming out the top. But I thought that was pretty dope as well. So first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.